guys, welcome back. This is going to be a video of the second half of my Med-Surg quarter and how everything went. Alright guys, so the second half of my quarter went way better than the first half. Let me tell you. So originally I got like a 64, an 80 on exam 1 and 2. Then I got an 86 and an 86, which literally brought me to passing. So thank God, because I did not want to repeat Med-Surg. I just couldn't do it. Like mentally, I could not do it. I put in so much time and effort. No way. I would just be like, I'm dead. So what I did the second half was I realized that taking notes online was not working for me. Because, not online, but on my laptop, because I couldn't have my laptop in class. I constantly had to print it out and like edit it and whatever. It just wasn't working. So I decided to do index cards, and that made like a huge difference on exam 3. And I was like, okay, because I did like at first I did like concept maps, but an index card, so they were like separated. And because at first like concept maps, I was like, oh my god, this is chaos, this is craziness, I'm looking at way too much, I don't like it. So I ended up doing everything in index cards and like looking at it that way. Like I always do, I put everything up on the whiteboard and I constantly wrote everything over and over and over again because, like I said in every other video, you pull from the back of your brain, you really know it. So then I was like, okay, on exam 4, let's do it backwards. Let's flip everything. I mean, I did everything the way I normally do, but then I was like, okay, now let's really test our knowledge and let's flip it all. Let's put the symptoms up there and which diseases fall underneath of what. Because then you really have to think like, oh my gosh, is this a symptom of this? I should know this. Like, and you're like totally pulling it from the back of your brain. Even better. So I suggest that. I would do it frontwards, do it backwards, sideways, you know, all that. So what I eventually did, and this is why I can't like give anybody my notes because they're a mess, was end up doing like concept maps, but in like chart form because they're a little bit more organized and didn't make my brain explode. So that's what I did. I did it front and back. So you'd flip it over and it'd be like that. Like for example, I know a lot of people get these mixed up, so I'm going to use this as an example. I did IBS, Crohn's, colitis, and diverticulitis because, or diverticular disease, because a lot of people mess these up and mix everything up. So on the back, I know people don't want to hear this, but this is what you're going to learn about. I wrote like what the stools are going to look like for each one and if the weight is going to change and stuff like that. And then I did diet. Diet is so essential with GI. Like I can't even begin to tell you. So you need to know what to do and what to avoid for each disease. So total I did like, so I would do the disease at the top and I write down the page number in case I needed to reference it. And then I would go down to this side and I write down patho, symptoms, diet, treatment or medication, interventions and nursing care, labs and diagnostics like tests and scans, whatever we need to do, colonoscopy, stuff like that. So then in each one I would put like, so for IBS, high fiber, for diverticular disease it's high fiber, but if you have diverticulitis it's low fiber. So I don't know, it's just things that you need to know, especially like your colonoscopy you can't do during an acute phase, so sometimes you can do with the other things, so you need to know like the differences. Are we testing for bacteria? Are we testing for like something else? You know what I mean? So then on the back I did like the stools, is there mucus, is there blood, what to expect in each. So that is what I did with that, and that's why I don't have notes to send anybody. And honestly, like I'm not trying to be like mean, but you need to make up your own notes. Like I can give you the idea, but you need to write them. You need to look up the information. You need to figure out what you do and do not know. Because if you don't do that, you're not helping yourself. If you just copy my notes and like memorize it, you're not going to understand. Like I went through our textbook. I went through the Saunders and Kleck's book. I looked up these things. I watched videos through RN, registered nurse RN, and like watched her videos, like got an understanding of it, listened and lecture and put it all in there afterwards. So it definitely takes a lot of time to do that, but I feel like you get a really good understanding of it, and I hope that it sticks with me. Like, I hope I don't forget it. And if I do, I'll be able to reference it because it'll be all right there. So then I also got these to put all of them in after. They're like the little things you like put in your binder. And they're like clear, so you just like throw them in there, they're protected, and then you organize your binder, and that way if you ever need to reference it, you have it. And then for this, I did like an index for exam 4, so each unit, and that way it's kind of like a check off. I laminated it so I could write it off like with an expo marker after I did certain things, after I did the index cards, or after I did the concept map, stuff like that. So that's the only difference I did between exam 1 and 2 and exam 3 and 4, which obviously made a huge difference. I came from a 64 to an 86, so that's a good jump. If I didn't bomb that first exam, I would have been in the 80s, but whatever, I'll take what I can get. I passed. I know a lot of people like failed by 0.5, so I'm grateful that I passed, and I understand that my dedication paid off a little bit. So sometimes it's just like you miss by 2 questions, and you just gotta work a little bit harder. You know what? You learn that stuff for the second time again, so you'll really know Med-Surg well. So that'll help you later on in life. So what I'm going to talk about with the clinical and my experience in clinical is you need to jump in at every opportunity you can get, even if you're absolutely terrified. Med-Surg is the area to do this. This is when you can do like your NG tube, your trach care, like all that stuff. Do it, because it'll make you a better nurse. You'll get more comfortable with it, especially if you don't have medical experience, because I don't. I mean, like less than 6 months, and that's nothing. So I would definitely suggest doing that. I was able to do compressions at a specific site because somebody had coded, and it was one of my patients with my instructor, and I would definitely say to do it. I know it's scary, I know you don't know what you're doing, but like that is why you are there, because some nurses have never done compressions on a human being. They've only done them on mannequins, and let me tell you, it's much different on a human being than it is on a mannequin. It's complete chaos, but people are there to teach you. You're in nursing school, you're at that clinical site for them to help you, so let them help you, because I feel like I'm more comfortable now, and I was absolutely terrified at first, and now I'm not. And I know it's a sad situation if you're worried about them dying or whatever. Now, whether this person lives or whether they die, I understand it's terrifying, it's upsetting, it's emotional. Try to control your feelings a little bit and set them aside and absorb as much as you can out of this learning experience, because very rarely does something like this happen to a student. So these are the things you want to absorb, and if you can't even do compressions or anything like that, but you're in the room, stand in the corner and watch and observe everything that's going on and the teamwork that's going on between everybody. The communication, what your nurse needs to tell them, what information do they need, what medications are they on, because these are things that if your patient is coding when you're a nurse, you need to be like, okay, I need to get this stuff ready, and I need to know this stuff, I need to think about what they're on, and just because it helps everybody in that situation. So I understand that you're not comfortable with things. I understand there's a lot of things we don't like. Like, I'm not good at wiping butt. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do this. So I'm like, oh, let me go get your nurse. Oh, let me go get the tech. Like, I know that's bad of me, but like, this is the area we've got to get better in. I'm totally down to do compressions on somebody, or if you're bleeding out, I'm gonna be there to hold it, but I don't want to wipe your butt. Like, you throw up, but I don't want to wipe your butt. I'm not good with poop. So, and I was on a GI floor, like, quite a bit. So I got used to it very quickly. But I would definitely suggest doing those things, because you need to evaluate yourself. What is the area you are lacking in the most? Okay, you're lacking in this area, or you're most afraid of this, you're not comfortable with this, then you need to figure that out, and you need to work on that. Because those are the areas that you don't want to be flawed in when you go out into the field. So that's what I have to say about clinical. Get every learning experience you can get, and don't listen to people when they talk about a negative hospital or a negative facility or negative nurses or negative floor, negative unit. Like, go there and get the experience you can, whether it's good or bad. If you see something that you don't like, take from that. Okay, I'm not going to do that as a nurse. That's something I won't do. Or that's something, you know what, I don't really like how she did that, so I'm going to do it this way. Or this nurse is so organized. I love the way she organizes everything, and take a note of it. Or whatever. So take what you can get. And then what I have to say about like this end of this quarter, I realized that I wanted to start looking into being a tech or a student nurse somewhere, PRN, because bartending doesn't look great on a resume, but at the same time, it's a brainless, easy, fun job, so I'm like kind of stuck. But like, do I bartend to make easy money? I'm gonna be a nurse for the rest of my life. Like, what do I want to do? So that's where my dilemma is right now. I'm not really sure, and I don't really adapt well to change. I'm kind of a stress ball, although anxiety medicine helps, doesn't help that much. So I'm definitely like, I don't really want to dip my feet yet. So I don't know. But I will keep you guys updated if I do end up looking into it. I have been looking into it the last week. I've been talking to people and reaching out. So I will keep you guys posted. My next quarter is going to be mom and baby. Not an area I want to do. I feel like as a woman, I don't want to see that. I just want to like pop out my babies eventually when I have kids, and I want to see what goes on. Like, I just want to pop them out and not see. So hopefully I'm not scarred, and hopefully I still want kids after mom and baby. We'll see, but I'll let you guys know, and I'll keep you updated. You'll probably get another video in about 7 or 8 weeks, and good luck with everything. Share this with everybody. If you guys have any questions, just put them in the comments, message me on Instagram, do whatever you need to do, and good luck with nursing school, guys. Keep it going.